Last week, Indiana taxpayers got a surprise in their bank account. Unprecedented move here from the state of Indiana. I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so do you live in a financially strong state? Is your state financially healthy? Take a look at this list here. Now, this is arbitrary. I'm not exactly sure how they're ranking these. You can see short-term and long-term. Alaska ranked the strongest financially, which is very interesting because it's so far away. We don't serve a lot of folks in Alaska. I don't know much about the state. South Dakota's up there too. Tennessee's up there as well. For those of us that live in the Midwest, that's where I live, no surprise to see that the 50th, the ranked 50th, so the worst financially stable state is Illinois. Has a long track record of some struggling financial circumstances. And so anyway, why am I bringing this up? So I live in Indiana. We've got offices in northern Indiana, but then, very close to the Michigan border. So they call it Michiana if you're not from around this area. And I grew up in Michigan. So anyway, so Indiana, Michigan, very familiar with these states and do a lot of tax returns in both of these states, about an hour away from Illinois, so familiar with that as well. Indiana did something unprecedented last week. I know lots of states have been talking about giving people money, direct deposit, or giving a debit card to help, or another stimulus even to help with high gas prices and inflation, whatever. Well, Indiana didn't do that. But they did direct deposit $125 per taxpayer for people that are eligible last week. $125, just automatic. And there really wasn't a lot of announcement about this. All of a sudden it happened, and we started kind of hearing about it and so on, and yeah, just sort of out of the blue. What is this thing? Did you get it? Is this a problem? I've got that right now. Indiana is paying out $125 per eligible taxpayer in an automatic tax refund. That's right. The state claims that due to their strong financial position and decision making over the past 9 years, yes, through the pandemic, they are in a financially strong spot. They've got excess reserves, and how they've got, legislation sort of filling in the gaps as to what they're able to do with these reserves, and they've chosen to issue an automatic taxpayer refund of $125 per taxpayer. Now, this is for individuals. So are you eligible? You've got to have filed a 2020 tax return, okay, postmarked by January 3rd of 2022. You've got to be an Indiana resident, and that means you have filed a full year tax return for 2020, or you filed a part year or full year non-resident, but it says in here you have to have had been an Indiana resident for all of 2020. Okay, so that's if you're eligible. There's no eligibility based on whether you even paid state tax or whether you paid enough state tax or whether your income was too high. None of that. They're cutting through all of that. They're issuing that refund if you're an Indiana resident and filed a tax return, a tax return, basically were a resident in 2020. All right, so how are you going to get this money? I mentioned last week a lot of people receive this direct deposit. So you're going to receive it direct deposit if you filed an Indiana resident tax return for 2020 before January 3rd of 2022, or you filed a 2021 tax return by the tax filing deadline this year of April 18, 2022, and you've listed direct deposit to a checking or savings account on your 2021 tax return. These direct deposits for most people hit last week Wednesday, I believe, the 4th. If you're eligible for one of these payments, but you have not filed your 2021 tax return, then you're likely to get a check for this $125. So if you filed an extension, if you aren't set up for a direct deposit, then you could be getting a check instead of receiving this direct deposit. And the last big question, because this smells and tastes a little bit like a stimulus, do you get anything for your kids? No, you don't. It's just for those that are single filers or married filing jointly, that sort of thing. So it's just you taxpayers. There's no extra $125 or whatever if you claim kids. All right, so unprecedented. I don't know of any other states. Actually, I'm sure there have been that have issued these sort of excess reserves. Obviously, lots of states have issued additional benefits here or there, whatever. Some states are talking about how they can help citizens with high gas prices, whatever. I haven't heard of ones that have said, listen, our coffers have grown too big, too full, and we're going to just start doling out some money, especially with all the volatility and concerns right now going on in the economy. It's a little surprising that, hey, the state of Indiana says we've established that we've got these excess reserves and we're going to pay them out. That's pretty bold. Will other states follow suit? I doubt it. So the reason why I look to see financial stability, I would have assumed a state that's going to automatically issue refunds is going to be one of the strongest up there. And if you looked, Indiana's, I think, ranked 31 or something like that. So I wouldn't expect other states to follow suit. This seems pretty unprecedented. The other question that I thought of, will this create even more inflation? I mean, part of the volatility that we're feeling in the markets and in the economy is what we're all feeling in our in our bank accounts, and that is lots of high prices and inflation. Will this create more of it? I think it's a small enough amount that it probably won't, but who knows? You've got more money that's now in people's pockets that they'll likely spend or use for these higher prices. Could it, in a way, continue to push inflation higher? Potentially. So hopefully you've got enough margin in your bank account, enough cushion in your checking account, and savings account is full of emergency fund. This doesn't move the needle for you much financially, and more so is just a sweetener. But for all of your financial decisions, your big financial choices, are you on track for your financial plan? Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team that's helping you, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.